Hi everybody, we're now in my garden. I'm gonna give you a little show and tell of how it's going, the good, the bad, the ugly, because let's be honest, there's a mix of all of it. Let's go. So in my veggie garden, you can see things have grown and gotten bigger since the last time we were here, but also some things haven't. So as you can see in the middle here, I've put in some sugar snap peas. Had to get those on a trellis because they were getting too tall to not have something to crawl on. And then I also have lots of green beans growing in these raised baskets or containers here. I don't know if you can see, there's quite a few flowers here, but really getting into the getting beans. So we're getting ready to, probably later tonight, we'll pick these and fry them up for dinner. I have more over on the other side too of a different variety, just green. But over here, and these are my tomato plants. And I was really wrestling with some blight earlier this season, so that's been hard. As you can see, the kind of that discoloration on the bottom branches there, that can be really detrimental to the plant. So some of mine are not quite as far along as I had hoped or as they thought they would be, but I am seeing there are some, you know, some different tomatoes that are showing up. I don't know if you can see that one in there. All different varieties are in here. So we're starting to get to the stage where they're gonna start changing color and actually be hopefully ready to eat soon. So that's exciting for those guys after coming back from that kind of blight issue. And then over here, not something you all probably typically deal with, but I tried to put this fence up around my garden to keep my free-ranging chickens out, but if you can see here on some of my leaves, those are little beak marks there. So I have some hungry chickens who are coming in here and they were eating my plant. So we have a different latching system in here so they can still free range, but not hopefully get after my plants. Look at, they really got after this one. So I'm hoping that with some extra fertilizer I've been putting in here, that'll help them kind of bounce back because I was really excited about some peppers. Did not think my chickens were gonna think it was a salad bar, but we'll see what happens over here. My herbs are doing good. My cilantro is past its prime, which is okay, but it was kind of going to flower, which means it wasn't quite as good for eating, but that's okay. Still smells really pretty in here. My basil's doing good. Nice and big and luscious. I'll probably make a salad with this later. Or maybe some pasta, that sounds good. And then over here, once again, I had started more beans because Joe loves beans, fresh beans. But once again, my chickens decided that that was a delicious snack. So we're gonna have to try again with those, but that's all right because I have more in these raised containers. Let's go check out my other bed. Don't know if you noticed on the way in, but I have some hydrangea bushes here that I'm gonna say it. If I haven't said it before, I'm sure I'll say it again. Don't throw away a plant, especially a perennial, if you think it's dead. These guys actually sat in a pot behind our garage at our old house for 2 winters, 2 whole years. And then we brought them here and they sat here for a year because we weren't quite sure where to put them. And then we planted them when we put the garden in 2 summers ago. And now this year, I mean, sure, they're not the perfect shape, but they're starting to bloom. They're getting really green and full. This guy's going nuts here, so that's exciting for the blooms to come. But don't give up. Don't give up on your plants because they won't give up on you. Just making sure to keep them watered and getting good sunlight. We'll have to trim some of these back because they're looking a little funky, but that means they'll be even prettier next year. As we walk back to some of my cut flowers, I've got a couple dahlia beds here. As you can see, this one right here, there's one guy started, but the rest of mine, other than in the very back there, they're not doing so hot this year. So I'm not sure if they didn't get wet enough in order to get growing or too wet. So this is my first year growing dahlias. So we'll see how they continue to grow. I'm, again, like I just said, not giving up hope. But some of these guys sprouted a while ago and they're getting really big. Some of these are newer with more new growth. And then there's even some of these that, like, this guy just came up like within the last couple days. So that's really exciting. So I have more of those, all different kinds of varieties. I'll keep you posted on those and how they do. But after dahlias, I have all kinds of flowers back here. And I'm just really excited for when it's all gonna be in bloom and in color. All different things. I have some alyssum over here. I have some lupine. You can see, sorry about my dogs in the background. I got a little bit, my first bloom and blossom on my lupine, so that's pretty purple, so that'll be nice. I have some foliage back here of some bupleurum. I have some carnations coming here with some blooms started and some buds going. And then I'm really excited about these snapdragons. As you can see, I've got some on the bottom here that the buds are just starting to crack. And if you look down my line here, I've got a few other varieties that are already blooming. So that's super exciting. I'm looking forward to the color that's gonna come from these. I mean, just look at this pink. It's so pretty. And then that darker color down there. Love it. I'm super excited to hopefully soon be able to take a picture of my first bouquet I make out of all of these cut flowers. Some of them are just getting to the stage where I can start to cut them. Like these celosia back here, you can see that there's all different buds and flowers on the top there that I could get ready to start cutting and using, all different varieties of colors. Got some amaranth back there with those tall, kind of more, what like you would call a thriller, you know, like we talked about. Over here I have some more dahlias, and some of these I started in the greenhouse in like April. The rest of these I put in the ground right around Memorial Day. But I'm having a great time keeping up with these blooms and just seeing what kind of varieties pop up, what shows up. Again, not doing so great on those tubers, but then these guys are doing really well. And like I've talked about before, this is my first year doing a lot of these flowers, and especially these garden beds. This whole space was just empty around my veggie garden. You know, amidst these, I have some apple trees, some pear trees that are kind of within here as well. But this is all brand new dirt, and it's, you know, topsoil that's been mixed with horse manure, so it's been composted. So it's good quality dirt, but these plants are still trying to figure out, you know, where the roots are gonna grow and how much sunlight we're gonna get and the watering. As you can see here, I have a cute hose that I drag everywhere every day in order to get all these plants watered, like my sage and my lemon balm over there. Trying to get that all watered. So we're hoping that maybe this next summer we'll look into getting a drip line with a water line system back here, so I don't have to drag the hose, but also I'll do what I need to for my plants. I have some basil back here, as well as all along the back I have some single stem sunflowers that I started from seed, you guys, and some of them are taller than I am, so that's super fun to see. I'm just gonna let those go to seed. As you can see, the one on the very far end here, it already has, you know, bloomed, and some of those petals are starting to fall off. We're gonna use that so that that becomes a haven for bees and for other birds, and just kind of to encourage pollination and insects in the garden, because those are really good for them. More branching sunflowers right here, and then all these pretty blossoms you can see and blooms are zinnias.